Have you ever looked at two people the same age, let's say 72, and wondered how one still walks with a spring in their step, glowing skin, and sharp memory, while the other struggles with digestion, fatigue, and seems to age faster than the calendar says? It's not luck. It's not genes alone. Sometimes the difference lies in something as quiet and ordinary as a fruit. Not the banana, not the apple. We're talking about something far humbler. Something you've likely seen, touched, maybe even eaten, but never truly noticed. Today we're peeling back the skin of a fruit that has silently stood the test of time and may quietly hold the answer to many of the discomforts that come with age. The pear. Yes, the common, soft, juicy pear. And if you're tempted to click away thinking it's too simple to be important, stay with us. Because what you're about to discover isn't in most headlines, health blogs, or even your doctor's office. In fact, only 15% of older adults eat pears regularly, despite solid scientific proof of their benefits for digestion, immunity, and even the brain. Now let's pause here. If you've been feeling off lately, not sick exactly, but bloated, foggy, or just low on energy, like your engine's burning slow, even after a full night's sleep, this may be the quiet signal your body is sending. A signal that something gentle, natural, and powerful is missing. And believe it or not, the answer could be sitting right in your fruit basket, waiting to be seen again with new eyes. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you ate a pear with the skin on? When you bit into that sweet flesh, did you stop before the middle? Did you throw away that slightly gritty, fibrous core near the seeds? If you did, you're not alone, and you've likely tossed out the most healing part of all. Because beneath that soft surface, this fruit holds a unique combination of soluble fiber, anti-inflammatory compounds, flavonoids, and a powerful antioxidant called quercetin, especially concentrated in the skin and central tissue that most people discard. And the best part, it's not a superfood with a fancy price tag. It doesn't come in capsules or require refrigeration. It's accessible, affordable, and remarkably forgiving to the aging gut. You'll soon learn why this single fruit can help. Clean your intestines, improve digestion without irritation, lower LDL cholesterol naturally, control blood pressure gently, support kidney health, reduce systemic inflammation, and even help defend your brain against cognitive decline. But that's not all. At the end of this video, we'll reveal a simple 3-ingredient trick using pears, cinnamon, and lemon that turns this everyday fruit into a powerful natural tonic, perfect for older adults who want to reclaim balance in their digestion, clarity in their thinking, and lightness in their body. So if you or someone you love is over 60 or struggling with bloating blood pressure or brain fog, stay with us. This could change the way you look at this fruit forever. Subscribe to Senior Fit, because growing older isn't about fading quietly. It's about nourishing your body with wisdom, simplicity, and the right kind of strength. Let's start with the most immediate and personal benefit: digestion. If you're over 60, you've likely noticed that your stomach doesn't respond the way it used to. The same meals feel heavier. Bloating appears out of nowhere. Constipation visits more often. And certain fruits, once safe, now cause discomfort. In fact, studies estimate that nearly 60% of older adults suffer from chronic digestive issues, gas, acid reflux, indigestion, or slow bowel movement. But here's the gentle truth. The aging digestive tract doesn't need more force. It needs kindness. And this is where the pear shines quietly, like a friend who doesn't speak much, but knows exactly how to help. You see, the pear contains a unique combination of soluble fiber, which turns into a soothing gel in the gut, gently sweeping waste along without irritating your lining. insoluble fiber, which adds soft bulk and stimulates movement through the intestines. Over 85% water, which hydrates the colon naturally, easing constipation without the harshness of laxatives. But more than what it contains, it's what it doesn't do that makes pears so remarkable. Unlike citrus fruits that can aggravate sensitive stomachs with acidity, unlike apples with skins that are sometimes too tough to digest in later years, and unlike dried prunes that can be too strong or stimulate cramping, pears are soft, cool, and stomach-friendly even for those with irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, gastritis, or simply a sensitive aging digestive system. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a 74-year-old woman named Linda. She's active, walks daily, and eats well, but lately she's been skipping fruits. Why? Because her stomach can't handle the sourness of oranges or the roughness of apples anymore. Everything feels heavy. Then her granddaughter offers her a slice of ripe pear skin on Juicy Mild. Within a week, Linda starts adding half a pear before lunch. She sleeps better, her bloating eases, and her bathroom visits become regular without discomfort, urgency, or effort. Why? Because her intestines weren't blocked. They were just thirsty and needing something soft to guide the way. That's the quiet power of the pear. And here's something most people don't know. When eaten before a meal, pears act like a prebiotic primer. They gently prepare the gut lining, helping your body better absorb the nutrients from the next dish. It's like opening a window before a warm breeze. It doesn't force anything. It just makes everything move more naturally. So the next time you feel heavy after meals or struggle with regularity, try starting your day with half a ripe pear unpeeled, eaten slowly, maybe with a pinch of cinnamon. You may be surprised by how much lighter your body feels, not just in your belly, but in your whole being. And we're just getting started. Because in the next section, you'll discover how this same humble fruit can gently lower blood pressure without medication side effects or synthetic chemicals. Stay with us. What's coming next might be the missing piece you've been searching for. Now, let's talk about something that touches nearly every senior's life: blood pressure. It's called the silent killer for a reason. You don't feel it. You don't see it. But it slowly tightens its grip on your heart, your brain, your kidneys, until one day something gives. Here's the hopeful truth. Not every solution comes in a bottle. Sometimes it comes in the form of a soft green fruit with rough skin and a sweet heart. Yes, the pear. Because hidden within this modest fruit is a quiet but powerful ally, potassium. An average pear contains around 200 milligrams of potassium, a mineral that does something extraordinary inside your body. It relaxes blood vessel walls, easing pressure and improving flow. It balances sodium, helping your kidneys remove excess salt. It prevents fluid buildup, reducing the load on your heart. And even more importantly, pears are very low in sodium themselves, making them ideal for anyone managing hypertension or water retention. Let's look at this in real life. Imagine Mr. Harold, age 77. He's careful with his diet. He avoids table salt, but his blood pressure still rises, especially in the evenings. His doctor suggests cutting processed foods. Harold does better, but he's tired of meals that feel like punishment. Then he tries a simple shift, a small pear with lunch 4 days a week. It doesn't feel like medicine. It doesn't taste like change. But after 4 weeks, his systolic pressure drops 5 points. His legs feel less swollen, and his afternoons, once cloudy with fatigue, are lighter, clearer. Science backs it up. In a clinical study, adults who included pears regularly in their diets saw a significant improvement in vascular elasticity and blood pressure markers without additional medication. Now, I'm not saying a pear replaces your prescription, but what if it could support it? What if something gentle could help your body respond better, heal smoother, and carry you further? Remember, the goal isn't to fight your body, it's to feed it the right conditions to thrive. And that's exactly what pears do. They nourish without pushing. They restore without shocking. They whisper to your body, let go, breathe, flow. So if your blood pressure numbers have been inching upward, or you've been feeling tight in the chest, heavy in the legs, or tired after climbing stairs, don't wait for a warning. Try adding 1 pear to your midday meal skin on eaten whole chewed slowly. Let nature step in where stress has taken over. Because we're not finished yet. Up next, we'll uncover the surprising truth about pears and blood sugar, and why this sweet fruit won't spike your glucose, but may help calm your cravings instead. Stick around. The sweetness you need might be softer and smarter than you think. Now, let's talk about something that many seniors quietly worry about: sugar. Not just the white crystals in your coffee, but the hidden sugars in your healthy snacks, your breakfast fruit, even your salad dressings. As we age, the body becomes less forgiving. Insulin doesn't work like it used to. Glucose lingers longer in the blood. And suddenly, foods that once felt harmless now make you crash physically and emotionally. So here's the question: can you still enjoy something sweet without spiking your blood sugar or worsening insulin resistance? The answer is yes, and it starts with the pear. Unlike tropical fruits like mangoes or pineapples rich in fast-releasing sugars, pears have a low glycemic index, meaning they release glucose into your bloodstream slowly and steadily. Why? Because of their secret weapon, fiber. The soluble fiber in pears forms a gel in your stomach that slows down sugar absorption. The insoluble fiber creates bulk that satisfies your hunger faster and longer. And their sweetness comes mostly from fructose, which has a gentler impact on insulin. Let me introduce you to Joyce. She's 68, recently diagnosed with prediabetes. She gave up cookies, switched to oatmeal, started walking every morning. But she missed one thing terribly: that comforting sweetness after meals. Then her daughter introduced her to sliced pear with a dusting of cinnamon. Soft, fragrant, satisfying. It didn't leave her jittery like candy. It didn't spike her blood sugar. And over time, something amazing happened. Her late-night cravings for biscuits and crackers faded. Why? Because her brain was no longer screaming for sugar. It was gently being fed with something real. That's what pears offer: a bridge between flavor and function, a way to treat your senses without betraying your system. And if you've ever struggled with cravings, emotional eating, or sugar slumps after lunch, you're not weak. You're just fighting a battle without the right weapon. And a ripe pear served cool with the skin on and a touch of cinnamon might be the gentlest defense you've never considered. But we're still peeling back the layers. Because in the next section, we'll uncover something deeper: the powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds in pears and how they quietly protect your brain joints and heart. What's inside this fruit might surprise you more than any sugar ever has. Stay with us. The story of the pear isn't finished yet. We often hear about inflammation, but what does it really mean? For older adults, chronic inflammation is not a burning pain you can point to. It's silent, subtle. It shows up as stiffness in the morning, a fog that won't lift from your brain, joints that ache after a walk, fatigue that settles in even after a full night's sleep. Doctors now call this inflammaging, the quiet fire beneath most age-related conditions like arthritis, Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, even depression. But what if I told you that one of the softest fruits in your kitchen contains compounds powerful enough to soothe that fire. Inside the skin and flesh of the pear lives a natural plant chemical called quercetin, a flavonoid with anti-inflammatory effects so strong researchers have compared it to mild corticosteroids but without the side effects. That's not all. Pears also contain epicatechin, which supports heart health and reduces oxidative stress, chlorogenic acid, known to improve vascular flexibility and reduce inflammation markers, and a host of polyphenols that neutralize free radicals before they can damage your cells. Now let's pause here. You've probably heard of free radicals, unstable molecules that damage your DNA, your skin, your memory. They come from pollution, stress, processed foods, even natural aging. Think of them like rust spreading through your body, and antioxidants. They're your body's anti-rust coating, and pears are rich in those very defenders. But here's where the magic hides. Over 50% of these antioxidants are in the skin of the pear. So if you're peeling your pear, tossing the skin into the trash, you're throwing away half the medicine. Let's go back to our friend Harold from earlier. He begins keeping the skin on eating pears, slowly chewing them with intention. A few weeks and his knees ache less on cold mornings. He climbs the stairs without that familiar burn. He notices his thoughts are clearer, his mood more stable. No miracle, just consistent nourishment of the systems that age tends to erode. And science supports it. A study published in Nutrients showed that seniors who consume pear skin regularly had lower systemic inflammation markers and improved cognitive performance compared to those who didn't. And it all begins with what you choose to keep, instead of what you throw away. The next time you slice a pear, pause. Look at that thin, almost transparent skin. That's where your brain's shield is. That's where your joint's comfort lies. That's where nature hid its quiet cure. But we're not done yet. In the next chapter, we'll talk about how this same fruit helps protect something even more fragile, your kidneys, and why older adults with high blood pressure or diabetes should pay special attention. Stay with us. The pear is about to prove itself again, not with flash, but with healing depth. Your kidneys may not speak to you out loud, but they never stop working. Every second, they're quietly filtering your blood, removing waste, balancing minerals, and controlling blood pressure. And as we age, they work harder, but with fewer reserves. Especially if you live with high blood pressure or diabetes, two of the most common threats to kidney function in older adults. Now here's the challenge. Many so-called cleansing diets or detox teas are too harsh. They dehydrate, overstimulate, strip the body without offering repair. But the pear is gentle, supportive, hydrating. You see, pears are about 85% water. But not just empty water, they carry hydrating minerals, diuretic properties, and a cooling energy that makes them uniquely suited to support kidney function. They promote mild natural urination, which helps the body eliminate toxins. Their low sodium and high potassium balance fluid retention. And their soft fibers reduce the load on the gut and liver, which also eases the burden on the kidneys. Imagine this. A senior woman named Esther, 70 years old, with a history of blood pressure issues. She drinks plenty of water, but still feels puffy. Her legs swell by evening. Her doctor warns her to watch her kidney numbers. Instead of reaching for harsh pills or drastic measures, she adds half a pear to her morning routine 4 days a week. Not juice, not canned, just ripe, fresh pear with skin. Within 2 weeks, her swelling lessens, her digestion improves, and her lab results show a gentle shift in her creatinine levels, not dramatic, but encouraging. And this matters, because kidneys don't like force. They prefer support hydration minerals and steady circulation, all of which pears naturally provide. And here's something even more interesting. In traditional medicine systems from ancient China to Europe, pears were considered a cooling fruit used to soothe the stomach, calm inflammation in the urinary tract, and ease internal heat, often linked to overworked kidneys and livers. Modern science is now catching up. A study in Journal of Renal Nutrition noted that patients who included pears in their kidney-friendly diets had lower uric acid levels and improved hydration markers without taxing the kidneys. But perhaps the greatest gift of the pear is that it doesn't force results. It invites the body to return to balance. So, if you've been feeling heavy in the lower body, dealing with swelling, or managing chronic kidney stress, don't just cut out harmful foods. Add something healing. A ripe pear, cool, washed, skin intact, a small act of kindness to the filters that keep you alive. And remember, the part of the pear you may have been throwing away could hold even more healing power than you realized. Up next, we'll uncover the hidden treasure inside the core of the pear, the part most people discard, and why it might be one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory allies for seniors. Stay with us. We're about to dig into the heart of the fruit and the heart of your healing. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you ate a pear, right down to the core? Most people stop when their spoon or teeth reach that slightly gritty fibrous center, the part around the seeds. It's tougher, less sweet sometimes, a bit sandy, and almost instinctively we throw it away. But what if I told you that little forgotten ring of tissue holds more anti-inflammatory power than many over-the-counter pills? Yes, not the seeds themselves, those should still be consumed in moderation, but the fibrous wall that surrounds the seeds, that slightly chewy, granulated zone, is where the real magic hides. That part is rich in a natural compound called caffeic acid. Now, caffeic acid isn't some trendy supplement. It's a powerful plant antioxidant studied for its ability to reduce inflammation in joints, support healthy immune responses, and even block the signals that cause chronic pain. In fact, research has shown that caffeic acid modulates the same inflammatory pathways as some non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, but without their side effects. And that's not all. That central tissue also contains a rare fiber called arabinose, a prebiotic that acts like food for your good gut bacteria. Arabinose helps to strengthen the gut lining, balance your microbiota, boost your natural production of butyrate, a fatty acid linked to brain clarity, mood stability, and lowered inflammation. Let that sink in. The gritty part you throw away could be what your joints need to feel less stiff, what your brain needs to feel less foggy, and what your gut needs to stay in balance. Now imagine this in practice. A man named Thomas, 75 years old, suffers from arthritis in his hands. He's wary of medications, sensitive to side effects. He begins blending whole pear seeds, removed but core intact, into a morning smoothie. After 2 weeks, he notices his fingers don't ache when gripping the coffee mug. His digestion is smoother. He even sleeps deeper. Not a miracle, just using more of what nature gave. So next time you slice into a pear, don't stop at sweet, don't stop at soft. Go deeper. If you dislike the texture, here's a tip. Cut the pear skin and all and blend it with a splash of water and a dash of cinnamon. The result: a smooth, refreshing, slightly earthy tonic. Perfect before lunch, perfect before bed, perfect for your gut, your joints, and your whole inner rhythm. Because sometimes healing doesn't come from more. It comes from not wasting what's already there. And we're still not done. In the next part, we'll explore how the pear, through its fiber and microbiota, support connects directly to your mood memory and even the risk of depression in older age. You'll never look at your gut or your emotions the same again. Stay close. The connection between what you eat and how you feel is deeper than you think. We've talked about digestion, blood pressure, inflammation, but now it's time to talk about something more invisible, yet just as important. Your mood, your memory, your mind. Have you ever woken up feeling off? Not sad exactly, not sick, just dull, foggy, a bit detached from the world. Many older adults chalk it up to aging or stress or just a bad day, but often the root runs deeper, because science now confirms what ancient wisdom suspected all along. The gut and the brain are deeply connected. In fact, did you know that? 90% of your body's serotonin, the feel-good hormone, is made in the gut, not the brain. Your gut bacteria communicate directly with your nervous system, and a damaged or unbalanced gut microbiome can increase your risk of anxiety, low mood, even memory decline. And this is where the pear becomes more than food. It becomes nourishment for your emotional well-being. The prebiotic fibers in pears, especially pectin and arabinose, act as fertilizers for the good bacteria in your colon. When these bacteria thrive, they produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which reduce neuroinflammation, neuroprotective compounds that support clear thinking. And they influence the production and release of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. In simple terms, a healthy gut helps you think more clearly, feel more balanced, and resist the silent grip of low-grade depression or cognitive fog. Now imagine this. You begin eating a ripe pear skin on each morning. Some days you blend it with cinnamon and lemon. Other days you slice it before meals. And after a few weeks you notice your digestion is smoother, your sleep is deeper, your thoughts come quicker, and your smile returns without force. That's the gift, and it doesn't come from a bottle or a lab. It comes from the quiet, steady act of feeding your body what it understands. So now, let's make it real for you. How to choose, prepare, and eat pears for maximum benefits. Choose varieties rich in antioxidants. Conference green rough skin. Soft flesh, high in flavonoids. Rocha from Portugal, firm yet juicy, high phenolic content. Bartlett, yellow, sweeter, richer, in vitamin C. Eat with the skin. That's where up to 50% of antioxidants reside. Eat on an empty stomach or 30 minutes before meals. This enhances digestion and nutrient absorption. Best timing for constipation relief. A ripe pear before bed can stimulate gentle bowel movement overnight. Power combo for gut and mood. 1 ripe pear cut into slices. Don't peel. Sprinkle with a pinch of cinnamon. Squeeze a few drops of fresh lemon. Let it rest for 3-5 minutes before eating. Cinnamon stabilizes blood sugar, enhances flavor, and supports cognition. Lemon stimulates digestive enzymes, detoxifies gently, and supports liver function. Together with the pear, this becomes a natural digestive elixir, soothing, healing, and quietly empowering. And it doesn't take much. 3 to 4 times per week is enough to feel real change. You see, health doesn't always come from drastic diets, strict rules, or trendy pills. Sometimes it begins with a quiet fruit you once overlooked. The pear is not glamorous, it's not loud, but that's exactly what makes it powerful. It meets the aging body where it is, soft but structured, sweet but stable, humble but full of healing. So tomorrow morning when you walk into your kitchen, don't just see a pear. See an opportunity to nurture your gut, to calm your blood, to clear your mind, and to take one gentle, confident step toward aging not just gracefully, but powerfully. If you've made it this far, if something in your heart or body whispered this makes sense, then do something kind for yourself. Subscribe to Senior Fit, where growing older isn't about losing. It's about gaining wisdom, gaining balance, and still growing strong. Leave us a comment. Have you tried pears regularly? Do you peel them? Will you try the cinnamon lemon tip? Your story might inspire someone else, and together we build strength, one quiet habit at a time.